Many people question why and how they should love the Philippines. There are many ways these questions can be answered, and one such reason would be the diverse culture and traditions that are present in the country, particularly in religion. Today, we are a predominantly Christian country which heavily influences our society and culture, where some of our festivals are even celebrated as national holidays, such as Christmas or Holy Week. Pre-colonial Philippines back then was very different in terms of religion. Before the Spanish converted the Philippines to Christianity, we had a different set of culture and beliefs, which have been mostly forgotten by time due to the prohibition of these practices, removing our culture and identity, burning our idols, all in the name of God. We sought not to revitalize, but to help develop an appreciation for the lost culture that is now a part of our history and national identity. One such religion that we decided to showcase would be the religion of the Tagalogs. The religion of the pre-colonial Tagalogs was closely interwoven with their culture and traditions. It was a part of their individual and communal lives, from mundane tasks such as household and agriculture to meaningful events such as war and love. They practice animism, wherein the world around them is influenced by supernatural phenomena such as spirits and deities. They believe that there are anito, which could be spirits, deceased ancestors, nymphs, or debatas that reside around them and give them blessings. All organic things such as trees, rocks, water, and animals are believed to be inhabited by an anito. They are believed to be sent to earth by Bathala to help men and speak on his behalf. People who have the ability to contact these anitos are known as the Catalonan, otherwise called Babaylan in Visayan parts of the Philippines. Although they could be any gender, it is usually seen as a feminine role. They serve as channels for the deities and anitos who use them as vessels and speak through their mouths. They also have other duties such as performing worship ceremonies and healing the sick. Their departed relatives are also believed to gain spiritual powers who can watch over and protect them. They immortalize their ancestors' memory through idols called likha or larawan, made out of stone, wood, gold, or ivory, where they can present their offerings. They also believe in the concept of heaven and hell, called Maka and Kasanaan, which are two towns located below the earth. Maka is peaceful and filled with pleasure and joy for those spirits who were good during life. Kasanaan, on the other hand, is a place of punishment, grief, and affliction where Sitan, a deity, resides. In the beginning, there were three gods, each of whom thought they were the only being in the universe. Bathala, a very large giant who ruled the earth. Ulilang Kaluluwa, a very large snake who ruled the clouds. And Galang Kaluluwa, who is a winged head and wandered from place to place. The two domains, the earth and the sky, were both lifeless and lonely. Bathala and Ulilang Kaluluwa both wanted companions, and to alleviate his boredom, Ulilang Kaluluwa often comes down to the rocky earth and explores. One day, he randomly finds Bathala when exploring. Amazed, he approached him and asked for his name. Bathala introduced himself as the ruler of the universe. This proclamation angered Ulilang Kaluluwa and challenged him to a fight. After a fierce battle, Bathala emerged victorious and disposed of the corpse. A few years go by, and Galang Kaluluwa happened to find Bathala, which received him kindly. They lived together and became best of friends for many years. One day, however, Galang Kaluluwa fell very ill, and before his death, asked Bathala to bury him in the grave of Ulilang Kaluluwa. From the grave, a plant grew whose fruit contained water and meat. The inner skin of the nut resembled the head of his friend with two eyes, a flat nose, and a round mouth. Its leaves also resembled the wings, and the trunk resembles the body of his enemy, Ulilang Kaluluwa. The earth that was once barren and lifeless can now support life. Bathala then created the first man and woman. He was able to house and feed them using the different parts of the tree. The couple lived happily for many years until the world was crowded with their children. There is another version of this story, famously known as Si Malakas at Si Maganda, and follows the more animistic beliefs of the Tagalogs, wherein the bamboo that contained the first man and woman was an offspring of the land breeze and the sea breeze. We chose to present this one due to its link with Bathala, the one true God and creator of all things. Apart from their belief in the one true God Bathala, Tagalogs also believe in lesser gods to whom they pray and worship for specific things. There might be some differences between regions, such as different gods or different relationships and stories, but what we are about to present are the more general ones. First one, we have Bathala. He is known as the supreme god and the creator of all things. He is also referred to as Bathala May Kapal, Lumilikha, or Aba. He is so great and powerful that no one questions his demand for obedience and reverence from man. While he is very compassionate, loving, and just to his subjects, he is just as punishing to sinners whom he will strike down without hesitation. Then we have Amanikable, the god of hunters and the god of the sea. He was never married as he fell in love with a beautiful mortal woman, but was ultimately rejected. Frustrated, he swore vengeance upon all mortals and every now and then sends turbulent waves and horrible tempests to destroy boats and drown men. Then we have Idianale, who is the goddess of labor and good deeds, and Dumangan, the deity of good harvest. The both of them are married and have two children named Dumakulam, who is the guardian of the mountains, and Anituntabu, the goddess of wind and rain. Next is Ikapati, who is the goddess of cultivated land and the giver of food and prosperity. She is the most kind and understanding among the deities of Bathala. She taught men agriculture and she is loved by all. Lakapati is the goddess of fertility. There are accounts saying that Ikapati and Lakapati are the same being, and despite her bodily expression being notably feminine, she has both male and female reproductive organs, which symbolizes the balance of everything. Then we have Mapulon, the god of season, and who is married to Ikapati, and they have a child named Anugalay, the goddess of lost things and the wife of Dumakulam. They had two children named Apolaki, who is the god of the sun and the chief patron of warriors, and Dian Masalanta, who is the goddess of love, childbirth, and protector of lovers. Bathala had a mortal wife who passed away giving birth to their three daughters, namely Tala, the goddess of the stars, Hanan, the goddess of morning, and Mayari, the goddess of the moon and the most beautiful and charming out of all the goddesses. In some stories, Apolaki was said to be the son of Bathala, not Hanan, and that Apolaki and Mayari fought for the right to rule the earth, resulting in the loss of one of her eyes. Apolaki then apologized and agreed for him to be able to rule the day and Mayari to rule the night. For the last among the deities, we have Sitan, who is the chief deity and guardian of Kasanaan, guarding its inhabitants and ensuring that they do not escape their life of eternal suffering and turmoil. He is assisted by 4 agents that makes appearances in the mortal world. The first one would be Manggagaway, who is responsible for the occurrence of disease. She is said to possess a necklace of skulls and a girdle made of human hands and feet. She would transform into a human and roam as a healer where she would induce maladies with her charms. Next one we have Manisilat, who is known as the goddess of broken homes. She would disguise herself as a woman healer or an old beggar to enter the dwelling of her victims where she would use her powers to turn the husband and the wife against each other for her enjoyment. Next we have Mangkukulam. Now, this is a term used to describe anyone who practices black magic, but back then, Mangkukulam refers to an agent of Satan who would often assume a human form and pretend to be a priest doctor. He would emit fire beneath the house of his victim who will die if the fire is extinguished immediately. Lastly, we have Hokloban, who is a shapeshifter who some argue is more powerful than the Manggagawai since she has the power to kill anyone by simply raising her hand. She also has the power to heal those whom she made ill, and she could destroy a house by simply wishing it. I hope, just like me, you were able to appreciate the religion that was present in pre-colonial Philippines, and that I have sparked your interest not just for the religion and mythology, but for the Philippines as a whole. We hope that you were able to learn new things about the past identity of the Filipinos and how much our society has changed since then. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!